A rubber glove sandwich.
Fatheads, roly-poly fatheads.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of BRAINWATCHED. I am your host, Overseer. Joining me as always is JChippers.
Hello.
And Cubicle Wings.
Now.
And a very, very special guest on the podcast today. Someone who's never been on this podcast before, ever. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to this guy. Who are you?
I was the former host of this show.
Oh yeah!
Well, technically not really, because this is like a different version of the show, but in the former version, Brainwatching, I was the host. So I am Nintles, and I'm back here.
Can you believe what this homeless guy off the street in Canada is saying?
Another homeless Canadian.
Can't believe you dragged someone to your dungeons, eh? A homeless man off the Canadian streets.
You are? You're
I know,
surprised?
I know, I'm such a nobody. I mean, why would you hire me again?
Yeah, you got some fucking VTuber on your podcast? How deplorable.
Coming from the man who has a horse tied in his basement.
Anyway, welcome everyone to this 8th episode. You might notice the Braintron 9000 got an upgrade. One button. One button.
Another one?
What's the button do?
I'm going to be real with all of you. I don't know where it came from. Like, it's kind of creeping me out. When we recorded the last episode, I just came back here the next morning and it was there. I don't know what it does. I've tried pressing it. Nothing happens. It's kind of freaking me out, but hey, an upgrade's an upgrade, so woo, button!
Woo! Mysterious button!
Hopefully there's not an explosion somewhere.
Second thing I wanted to talk about. There is something something serious that I do want to talk about before this podcast starts. I've been getting too negative on this show. Every single episode, I go on these really long, angry rants about fucking something. Like, it doesn't matter what we're talking about, I have to be angry about something, and like, I haven't gotten that many complaints about it, but it's like, it's starting to bother me, because like, I don't like being negative. If you go back to those old Brainwatching episodes, at the start, I prided myself on being like the most optimistic and positive person I could be, and I genuinely do want this show to just be a show where the four of us can just get together, make dumb jokes, and have fun. It's just, I'm so fucking tired. I am sick of evil, greedy scumbag corporations ruining everything. They have way too much power, they're the death of creativity, and worst of all, they're all exactly the same. Even if it's something I'm excited for, I still have to be like, oh yeah, this looks really cool. Fuck the people making it, though. But at some point, after my 700th big angry at whatever fucking Disney or Warner Brothers or Nintendo or any of these companies do, after like my millionth big angry at every single time they do something bad, at some point, I just need to step back, accept the adage that there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, and just fucking enjoy things. So I'm gonna try and just fucking enjoy things from now on this show. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
I want to actually address that. So, with me being the former host of Brainwatching, I had a similar issue with that when I was hosting the show. I was mainly talking about woke stuff with media and stuff, and I want to formally apologize about that type of attitude I had on that show. I talked to JChip about that a lot of the time, that I wanted to have those episodes removed because I was not happy with it. And honestly, I came around and I now way more accepting of these type of things. I mean, I could still have problems with these types of media and stuff. In regards to my type of behavior on that show, I want to apologize about that. It was a good job of you addressing that, Zeh.
The way I see it is that We honestly can't just have an only positive discussion because that's not discussion at that point.
True. That is
Yeah,
true.
true.
Like we need some dark to handle the light. So
Yeah, and that was one thing that I wanted to like have with like the original version of Brainwatching is that in order to have like a discussion about these type of things, we can't just always be positive. We always have to find it's good to acknowledge the bad stuff in media, and I feel but like there was a point where I was taking it way too far, and yeah, I think it's good that we acknowledge that we try to keep positive is a good thing.
I guess it just comes with being the host, I guess.
Yeah, it does.
But thank you, Nintles. That was very nice to say and very mature of you. So
Yeah,
we
thank
all
you.
appreciate that. And hey, I guess we should get on to the topics because seeing as that you are here, Nintles, I believe there's something or someone you wanted to talk about.
Yes. So as you guys know, I am a huge fan of Power Rangers, and mainly the Tokusatsu fandom. And last year, there was somebody who was like a very influential figure in Power Rangers that sadly took their own lives, and that person was JChip David Frank, who was originally the Green Ranger from Power Rangers, the original Green Ranger.
I think one of the sad parts about this occurrence is that he's not the first Ranger up there in heaven right now.
Exactly.
It fucking sucks.
That's that he's not the only one, but honestly, he was the most influential of all the Rangers. That he was like one of the biggest. Like you want to know how many like toys there are of like his Rangers? Like there's so many of them, and that's because he was such a popular character. And he was like, I would also argue he was the reason that Power Rangers became so popular in the first place, and that's because of his Green with Evil storyline that introduced his character. So yeah, like and he hasn't just been the Green Ranger, he's been the White Ranger, the original White Ranger in season 2 of Power Rangers. He ended up becoming the Red Zeo Ranger. He once was the Red Turbo Ranger and passed the torch on when he left the show. And then a couple years later, he ended up becoming the Black Dino Thunder Ranger. And that was when he was like he was a mentor to the Dino Thunder team, and that was my introduction to Tommy. Like I was like aware of his stuff like when I was like watching old Power Rangers shows on VHS, and seeing him come back into Power Rangers as a brand new Ranger, like that like really got me hyped. So yeah,
I actually have a Power Ranger shirt that's like one side is the Green Ranger and one side is the White Ranger, and the shirt itself is gray, to contrast both of them, and it's really one of my favorite shirts to wear.
I have a similar one too, and it's like a hoodie, and it's like a black hoodie, and it shows his weapons and stuff as well, which I had to put that back on and start wearing outside now, but like it's for a reason. It's because I want to honor him.
Yeah. Like, can I just say, you used to bring up Power Rangers all the time on the podcast until like you brought it up anytime you could. So I'm just sitting here listening to you talk about this, just like, man, I fucking missed this. I've missed this so much.
Yeah, like it's one of my favorites of all time, and like you can obviously tell I'm very passionate about Power Rangers, but Tommy's legacy, or Jason David Frank's legacy, has definitely been like one of the key factors that got me into the franchise, and it's very unfortunate that he had to like that this happened, and like I'm so sorry about everything that is going on with him, and just
even the Japanese Sentai actors had very high respect for him.
they actually expressed their condolences to Tommy or JDF, and yeah, that's a really fucking emotional.
It's always nice when foreign actors pay respects to the actors who played the same character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do want to say I've never watched a single episode of Power Rangers, and yet I also want to talk about Jason David Frank, because crazy thing is, despite me never watching an episode of Power Rangers, he's like one of, if not the only famous person I've ever seen in person.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So this goes back to like maybe even before I started YouTube. Maybe it might have been like maybe right after I started YouTube, like 2015. But this was before I had money. For a Christmas present, my mom got me and my brothers tickets to a local convention, and we didn't have money, so I compared it to going to a nerd museum where we couldn't buy anything. We just walked around and stared at stuff. But the one thing I do remember is like I was like, well, we gotta at least go to a panel. And a panel, I think this might have been the only maybe we also went to an AMV panel, I don't remember. But I do remember one panel we went to was hosted by Jason David Frank about Power Rangers, which it was so long ago, I just wish I remembered anything he said at the panel. Unfortunately, I don't, but I just wanted to share that. It's just like, man, what a coincidence that we're talking about this man on this podcast, and he's one of the few people I've actually seen.
Yeah. It's still like very lucky as a person who's like only lives in Canada and never really went to a Comic-Con in America. Like that's still like an honor, honestly. Like
I also knew that like was it him or the original Black Ranger that also got into MMA?
Yeah, it was
what?
him.
I remember I remember one of the Power Rangers actors going on to do MMA.
Yeah, it was JDF. Yes.
That fucking rules.
But yeah, Cube, do you know anything about Jason David Frank?
Unfortunately, no. I was never really too much into the Power Rangers scene when I was growing up, so...
That's fair.
I just kind of looked through his IMDb there to see if there was anything I may have known him from, but it looks like he mainly just did some Transformers stuff.
Yeah, he was actually a voice in one of the Machinima Transformers cartoons. Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, unfortunately, not too much media. I'm very familiar with him. So
yeah, but all the respects to his family and all the people he touched. And rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yeah.
Sir David Frank.
All right, next topic. I wanna sound excited all of a sudden, but that would be a bad transition.
Speaking of kids,
shut the fuck up.
Speaking of kids,
Shut
you
the
know who's a
fuck
kid? Miles Morales, who is Spider-Man, who's getting another movie.
Yeah.
Woo! Keep in mind, this second movie is part 1 of 2. They're doing like a Deathly Hallows sort of thing.
Yeah, we're talking about Across the Spider-Verse, the trailer for Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Which is coming out in June.
So, other than the fact that this movie looks fucking amazing visually, as the first one did.
Oh my god, the visuals!
Yeah, they look really good.
Literally, I was so put off by the first one's visuals in the first trailer of the first one.
I thought it was, like, when I first saw the trailer on the first one, I thought the animation style was just so out there that I knew that it was obviously going to win something on, like, awards for... being creative on its animation style, but it honestly was.
Yeah.
And then it won Best Picture. Best Animated Picture.
I thought it'd be hard on the eyes, but like it ended up being one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh.
And strangely enough, out of all the Spider-Man movies, I honestly think that the last one there, that was honestly my favorite Spider-Man movie.
I agree.
I think a lot of people would agree.
And it got them to have a mention in No Way Home. Like, man,
Yeah.
I thought you were black.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought you were gonna be black. Oh, I'm sorry.
And not only that, but like the animation style of the first Spider-Verse actually did influence some other movies. Like recently, Poots and Boots has sort of similar style to Spider-Verse.
Which
Yeah,
I love to see. I love to see it.
Like, I don't know what the animation itself is called, but from a lot of standpoint I've seen, people refer to it as like low FPS because it's got like,
Well, in a sense, because the motion of the animation, it's shot at a regular, like, 24 frames a second, but each of their movements are animated on 2, so generally they're staggered every 2 frames.
it moves, it looks and moves like amazingly, but like you could still see that like there's missing frames where there would be.
Well, the idea is so that it actually, like,
That it resembles like 2D animation.
it helps...
It's supposed to mimic the comic books.
Yeah, it's supposed to help accentuate, like, all the poses and really kind of make it feel like a comic book. And that was the other thing, too. Like, the mosaic features that they put on there to make it feel like it's coming right off a comic book page.
Exactly.
Like, you look in the distance in some shots where it's supposed to show depth of field, and it's giving those, like, dotted effects that you got on the old classic comics. Like, so many stylistic choices from that it's just filled with so many details.
I said this when we reviewed the first movie, and it still holds true. When it comes to 3D animation, this Spider-Verse proves that artistic style trumps realism.
100% agree.
100%. Rule of cool.
But also, speaking of comic books, like, we have to talk about like the amount of Spider-Man coming from the comic books.
See, I want to talk about that, but there are so many.
The ones I can think of off the bat is I forget the Spider-Man's exact name, but the Spider-Man with the mohawk and the
Spider-Punk?
Yeah, and there's the fucking PlayStation
Yes.
Spider-Man.
I was crazy
Spider-Man?
about that. No, not just PS4 Spider-Man, but the PS1 Spider-Man.
Oh, yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yes.
There's the one scene where it's like, it's quite obviously the animation pulled from the game.
Yeah.
when he's running.
Oh my god.
Wow, you guys picked.
There's gonna be so many, like, if not shown, then at least referenced.
There's one that I'm really hoping is in the film, and there was like rumors that it was going to be in the film, but Toei's Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's why I want to show up. Just like, I don't know how they're gonna do it animation wise, but I'd love to see just like a
that
weird...
one. That Spider-Man had a fucking mecha.
I mean, like, if we're talking about the different Spider-Mans, you guys clearly know more than me. I was just gonna say, like, I like Bag on the Head Spider-Man. He's funny.
Bang on the head.
What I don't know though is that like I don't think too many from the comics are gonna be actually shown, mostly for rights reasons. There's only so much that they can pull from, because again, Sony only owns the rights to the Spider-Man films only because Marvel didn't fucking do something about it.
Although I did see some interview with directors of this, and they're talking a little bit about the trailer and explaining why there's so many Spider-Men in this one area, and apparently it's Oscar Isaac's character, Miguel, is bringing all these Spider-Men from different universes and basically making what he tried to describe vaguely as a spider college. More thematically wise. It's more like they're collecting them all together and banding together, but Miles was left out of it. And there's supposed to be some sort of reason why he was not included into this, but there's quite possibly a multiverse reason for it as well. I've seen this theory that sounds really interesting, because if you remember from the first movie, the spider that Miles gets bitten from is not a spider from the universe that he is part of. Because it was flickering around. It was a spider that came from a different universe. So the fact that his universe's Spider-Man died, and he was a result of tampering multiverse, he's not technically supposed to be the Spider-Man of that universe. So that might be a reason, too, why he's chasing him down, too. Like, he's some sort of virus in a multiverse that needs to be exterminated.
That's some comic book shit.
I know. There's a lot of mystery around it, but it sounds like there's going to be a lot of exploring all those ideas.
Also, you guys might be able to help me with this since, you're all fucking nerds. I'm wondering, like, if you know so much about Spider-Man, does anybody know, like, who's the chick on the motorcycle?
Okay, hang on. I'll tell you. It's Peter Parker.
Of course.
Of course.
I know, it's a bit of a shock.
Okay, so which one are you talking about, say?
The girl on the motorcycle.
So that's like an alternative version of Jessica Drew. They actually made it like an amalgamation, I think. So it's supposed to be similar to the Jessica Drew variation of Spider-Woman, and there was originally a black version of Spider-Woman that was, I think it was like only in the Electric Company Spider-Man comics, because they had like a partnership with the Electric Company around the 70s. So basically they decided to like make an amalgamation of that, and she actually looks really cool. I like the design of it.
You just reminded me of those Electric Company Spider-Man shorts.
Yes.
They're so good.
They're great.
But honestly, I'm really looking forward to seeing where this movie goes with both Miles' story and just being a passion project as a Spider-Man fan.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we don't have a Spider-Man that's just Stan Lee. He doesn't even have to talk. Just have Spider-Man with his iconic glasses and mustache.
That'd be amazing.
Also, too, like, in the first Into the Spider-Verse, like, there was quite obviously the one Stan Lee cameo, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that there were 4 in that movie?
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
He pops from in the background randomly.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it's animation, so, like, why not?
They can throw them anywhere they want, but
Exactly.
I like how there's one prominent cameo, but then there's multiple hidden ones.
The hidden stands.
He's
Sounds like something I would do.
He's like a cryptid. He's like a cryptid. He's just in the background of some shots, and you don't know if he's there.
He's like the cryptic Shia LaBeouf.
Exactly.
The viewers at home don't know what that is, but
Oh, I remember that.
And they never will. But yeah, this.
Anybody just hear Shia walking?
Anyways, I think this movie's gonna be good, and I'm honestly looking forward to how they lead from part 1 into part 2, because that's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and like judging by the first movie, it's probably gonna look super glitchy a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Speaking of glitches,
Oh my god damn it!
let's do a review.
You're too loud. Things look up when you're a million miles away.
Today we're reviewing Pokémon Scarlet and Violet.
Or at least me and Zeh are.
Yeah. Me and JChip are reviewing Scarlet and Violet. This is the first Pokemon game I've ever played solo. Me and JChip did.
Do we want to talk about the fact that you accidentally got Scarlet by mistake?
I mean, if we keep it brief, we have a lot to talk about.
You plan to get fucking Violet, but you accidentally got Scarlet.
No, I just. Okay, hold on. No, you got Scarlet, and I wanted to make sure I got the same game as you because I wasn't sure if the multiplayer was gonna work.
How would the multiplayer not work? They're connected games.
I don't know. Maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe Violet people can only play with Violet.
As you said, they're the same game.
All right, I don't know. I'm not good with Pokemon. All right, you know this. Anyway, we're reviewing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. JChip, You go first, because I do not know where to start, aside from, the obvious.
Scarlet and Violet is a good game by itself as a game. Performance-wise, it is fucking garbage. It looks awful visually. There are a lot of cinematics when they actually load properly that look amazing. All the character designs are amazing. The game itself is really fucking fun. As Zeh has said, we played this together. We got it together. We've played together just exploring the land. That's the biggest thing with this game, is that you will get lost in this world just exploring like you would Breath of the Wild or Arceus. That's the biggest thing with this game for me, is that I just love exploring and just finding Pokemon. Like I don't have this Pokemon, or ooh, I finally find a shiny, or I need to breed this Pokemon, so might as well catch it. There's so much to do in this game, and I've already beaten the story. The story was okay. There's 3 different stories. That's how it's different from a lot of the Pokemon games. That has 3 stories that at the end connect together, all 3, and they're good. Arvin's story is really fucking tear-jerking. Zeh can attest to that too.
This Titan story was simultaneously the best and worst story to start with, because I played it all the way through before I did anything in the other ones.
Oh yeah, the worst to start with. Yeah, it's good for gaining abilities for Koraidon, but awful if you really want to level up your Pokemon. The last 2, the ones that aren't the Titan story, the obviously Victory Road, which is the typical Pokemon fashion of doing the gym leaders, and then there's the Team Star, which again, the teams are getting less and less evil. They just are just hype men. Honestly, they're just goofy kids. There hasn't been an evil team for a while.
No Team Rocket?
Nope.
Damn.
They're far from the caliber that is Team Rocket. But
that means we must become
that's sad.
They're still really fun though. I like them. And I love all of their designs too. I beat their story really fucking quick because they're not hard.
Yeah. So I do want to say I 100% agree with you with the exploration thing, because this is the first open world Pokemon game, and let me tell you, I don't know, there's some magic going on with this game, because even though the open world is pretty empty, all things considered, all it is like Pokemon trainers and items you can pick up. That's really it in the open world. I'll just start walking in a random direction, and I'll start wandering around for like 4 hours straight and not even notice the time. Like, I'll just start wandering around, picking up items on the ground, fighting Pokemon, and before I know it,
exactly.
It's like 3 a.m.
It's the same thing happens in Breath of the Wild. You can do some random ass quests and then go off and just explore and not realize that time flies the fuck by.
Also, so I gotta address it. It's what everybody knows about this game. It's the most infamous thing about it. I am sorry to disappoint anyone who was looking forward to this part of the episode. You wanted to hear me just rant and complain about how broken the game is, how it's covered in glitches, how bad the lag is, how it crashes all the time. I have bad news for you. Not only did I not experience that many glitches and 0 crashes while playing, I'm not somebody who's bothered by glitches that much.
Same. It's like that's my whole friggin' channel if you look me up.
I don't mind. Like I start playing fucking Cyberpunk all over again, and that game, like, even with like the patches and stuff, is still pretty glitchy. But like, I don't mind that. Like, I don't get that mentality that like games are ruined because of glitches. Of course, sometimes like it does matter.
They make it better.
At the same time, like I don't know. It's just like it's kind of hard to explain.
For me, it's like if it's not game breaking kind of glitch, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, also, this is not an... Well, it's kind of a... It's not...
It is.
Gonna go on
Just do it.
I'm sorry.
Just
It's
let it
always-
happen.
All right. I just want to make one thing... Let's make one thing fucking clear here. These glitches, these frame rates, which, yes, the frame rate and slowdown, it's pretty bad in some areas, I'll admit that. That was kind of annoying. But these glitches, game crashes, all that shit, let's get one thing straight. This is not Game Freak's fault.
Yeah.
They are just the developers. They have no control over when a game releases or in what state the game launches in. That's up to the publisher. That's Nintendo and the Pokemon
Nintendo,
company's
dude.
fault.
We, like, Pokemon fans, the actual, like, Pokemon fans that care about the quality, have asked for years, just delay the fucking games. We don't need them every so few years. Like...
But that's the fucked up thing about Pokemon, isn't it? They have to come out every 3 years because I've said it a bunch in this podcast. Pokemon is the highest grossing media franchise of all time. You think it got that way because of the games?
God, no.
It's like, it's like everyone's like, yes, this game did sell 10 million copies in 3 days. And everyone was going crazy like, oh my god, that's so much. That's the biggest Nintendo first party launch in history. And it's like, that's still a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of how much Pokemon makes from merchandise.
Dude, we said, I can cite something that me and Zeh said in a episode of our Pokemon Ratatouille series that we did. That if Pokemon wasn't shut down around the time when they caused kids to have fucking seizures from Porygon's mistake across the entire country of Japan, then nothing's gonna stop them from rising in popularity. Nothing is gonna stop them.
The fact that Pokemon survived that, any other franchise, any other, would have been canceled and buried 10 feet underground. But Pokemon lived.
Pokemon has been under so many fucking controversies, and they've somehow fucking survived by fucking popularity only.
Yeah.
That's the reason they can't delay the game. Because despite the merchandise sales, the trading cards, all that stuff, lunchboxes, backpacks, plushies, all that stuff is the big moneymaker for Pokemon. It still relies on the games to make new Pokemon, to sell more plushies and backpacks and lunchboxes and trading cards. So, like, the games have to come out every 3 years. They just have
There's
to.
a reason why Arceus is regarded as one of the best in the franchise. It's because you can definitely tell just by looking at it that it's full of passion and love. It's so full of new things that Game Freak wanted to try out. And so many good things that people wanted in the series. And now Scarlet and Violet dials it back and implements only like 1 or 2 things from that game.
And not only that, but like, didn't they also just like only 3 years ago just started a new generation? Why not? Like, I don't get why they have to do like new generations every 3 years now. It's like, it should be 1 generation per console. And like, I didn't get that with like 3DS with like having 2 generations, but like with the HG generation with like the Nintendo Switch, why couldn't they delay it into like the Switch Pro or Switch 2? Like, I don't get it.
Keep in mind, there's now 5 Pokemon games on the Switch.
Yeah.
2 of them remakes, 2 of them mainline games, 1 of them Arceus. There's Diamond and Pearl, Let's Go, Arceus, Sword and Shield, and Scarlet and Violet.
Jeez, that's... Oy.
And there was a lot to complain with Sword and Shield, but honestly, at first when I was playing Scarlet, I was like, I fucking miss Sword, dude. There's so much from that game that I fucking miss.
Like, I don't understand why like Legends Arceus could have been Scarlet and Violet. Like, I don't understand why they had to like make that a standalone.
I honestly don't either.
And I'm really hoping they don't just stop at Arceus. I want them to actually continue the Legends line. I don't know what other generation they're going to attempt, because they attempted the same generation as Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what they do if they continue the Legends line.
I don't know what went on behind the scenes. I don't know why Scarlet and Violet is as glitchy as it is. I don't work at Game Freak. I'm not a game developer. I'm sure there was a lot more that went into it besides the fact that just they had to make a game in 3 years. I'm sure there's more that went into it. What I do know is just like, I just feel bad for Game Freak.
All I could say is just delay the games. Just please take at least 5 years to develop a game. Like, if Sonic could, like, take a break for 5 years and come out with Frontiers, why not give Game Freak that same time frame?
Exactly. Sonic finally got a good fucking game after years. Sonic Mania doesn't fucking count because I'm talking about 3D Sonic. 3D Sonic hasn't had a good game in fucking years, dude.
But anyway, we've talked enough about the glitches. Let's get back to the actual reviewing the content of the game.
Pokemon is fun.
It is fun. It's like at the end of the day, it's still Pokemon. They're all
oh my god, there's over 1,000 Pokemon now. Christ.
Oh yeah, the new Pokemon. Anything you want to say about all the new Pokemon, JChip?
There's a Flamingo that's just called Flamigo.
Flamigo? Wow, they definitely went creative with that one.
It's supposed to be a Flamingo Amigo.
Amigo?
It's Flamigo.
You just summed up literally everything I was going to say way quicker. I need to start taking notes from you on how to be a good reviewer.
That's just me being a Pokemon fan, man.
Right. Because I was going to talk about that. I was just going to be like, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of this generation's Pokemon for that exact reason. It's just like, I do enjoy Pokemon that are just a thing that they stuck some googly eyes on. I think that's fun and funny and silly, but it's like half of this generation.
That's like, what I can't tell is that, like, is half this generation just lazily done, or is it like a troll? Is it trolling? Because I feel like the Dunsparce fucking evolution was hella trolling.
Yeah, they just made him longer.
The thing is, they did that out of spite because Pokemon fans have been asking for years for a Dunsparce evolution. There's just like, you want a fucking Dunsparce evolution? Well, here you go.
Right, fine.
Just add segments to him.
But like, so much of this generation can just be summed up as, like, so many of the Pokemon can be summed up as, that's just a dolphin. That's just a flamingo. That's just a parrot. Those are just mice.
Mousehold is one of my favorite Pokemon in the entire generation, and it is literally just stuffed animal mice.
It's like to prove to you that I do like Pokemon that are just silly and simple. Bramblin, from this generation, I fucking love Bramblin. He's a tumbleweed with eyes, and I love him. Well, I have a tumbleweed on my team. Her name is Spike, and I fucking love her. I love Bramblin. I love how expressive it is, even though it doesn't have a face. I love how the eyes are just floating in the center, and they just keep floating there as it rolls across the ground because it's a ghost type. Yeah, it's a ghost type, and I love Bramblin. But I've looked up on Google Tumbleweed Fakemon, which is like fan-made Pokemon that people have made, and I look them up, and I'm just like, okay, wow, these are actual designs. Like, these are actual creatures.
That's
like,
the thing.
These people took inspiration from a tumbleweed. They did not just stick eyes on a tumbleweed and call it a Pokemon.
I'm wondering if Nintendo, or not Nintendo, I'm wondering if Game Freak or whoever on the design team actually looks at Fakemon for inspiration, because there's a lot of good Fakemon out there.
Yeah, totally.
There are a lot of good ones.
There's entire fake Pokemon generations.
Yeah.
Entire regions.
Anyway, Nintendo's
so I was gonna mention, I haven't played the game yet, but there is a Common Rider Pokemon that actually looks really cool. Yeah. It's like Grasshopper called Locust, I think.
Yeah, I immediately, when I caught that, I was like, oh my god, he's a fucking Sentai.
Yes. Goddamn chainsaw wings? Oh my god.
He's literally a Fucking Kamen Rider ass.
Yeah, so honestly, if they make another Smash game, they need to put that Pokemon in the game. That'd be so cool.
Just hopping around the stage.
Yeah.
Not any of the starters. That
Yes.
one. Like the Kamen Rider Grasshopper.
Which, people, as they are with every fucking generation, they're like, oh my god, the new Pokemon starter evolutions are so bad. Like, they're not so as good as, like, you know, the first generation. Like, I love that. I love that Fuecoco turns from this fucking dumb-looking chili pepper crocodile into this big-ass crocodile that has fucking flames on its back.
Do not talk shit about my beautiful blue dancing bird.
Majestic as fuck. There's the two of these generations are supposed to be based off entertainers. I feel like Fuecoco is supposed to be just a gator, but
No. Fuecoco, his special attack is like, I've seen it. He like pulls out a microphone and screams into it. So he's a singer.
oh my
So,
god,
like,
a singing
got-
crocodile.
Yeah.
We got a singing crocodile, a dancing duck, and a magician cat.
Yeah.
Dear God, I love Meowscarada. One of my favorite Pokemon.
So I'm thinking of other stuff I want to talk about with Scarlet and Violet. The new Terrastalize gimmick that they added, when it happens in the gym battles and the music kicks in, it's fucking hype as hell, but other than that, I never really used it.
Yeah, it's, again, ever since Mega Evolution, they haven't been able to recapture the gimmick that they attached to these new games. But honestly, I hated all over it when they first revealed it, and now I actively search for the crystals. I actively search for the dens to find different Terra types, because if you can find one with a really good Terra type and that's not its own Pokemon type, then that honestly makes it a rare Pokemon in my eyes.
Those 5-star crystal battles, they're fucking impossible though. Jesus
Dude.
Christ.
5-star, blue 5-star Gyarados, any type, is fucking near impossible. Again, it's not all that exciting of a gimmick, and neither was Z moves, honestly, in Sun and Moon.
Like, I don't think it's bad necessarily. I think it's cool in like certain contexts, but I just never used it.
I love Eevees because I love Eevee, for one. Some of this generation's Pokemon are really fucking cool, and some of the best in the franchise. There's a lot that they ported over from Sword and Shield because it was the last generation, and they have to do that every generation. So I'm really fucking happy to have a Corviknight on my team. Because Corviknight's one of the best in the entire franchise.
Another completely random thing I wanted to say. I don't want to give spoilers for the ending of the game, but I will say everybody's talking about how this is the most crazy, insane Pokemon game ending ever, and I'll just say the biggest surprise I got from the ending, the number one thing that caught me off guard the most out of everything the ending of the game threw at me. Fucking Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, I fucking hate that he's the fucking singer of this song. And,
that caught me so off guard. I was just like, whoa, this game has had no voices anywhere. And all of a sudden, Ed Sheeran.
That's another complaint people have with these games, is that it doesn't have voice acting. It's not the fact that no Pokemon game has had voice acting at all. It's that this one has so many scenes that act out like it does when it doesn't.
They lip sync the dialogue.
They do all of the fucking lip sync. They do all of the poses, all the motions.
Yes.
Where voice acting would go. It's like an anime dub without being dubbed.
Yeah, that's so weird that they actually did that. I was gonna say with the Ed Sheeran thing, with like Pokemon, or at least recently, they've been putting a lot of like celebrity songs in there. Like I think they did one with I think it was Ariana Grande, maybe. I forgot.
And they did one with
Katy Perry.
They did one with Post Malone.
Katy Perry.
They did one with Post Malone also.
I think also Katy Perry as well. But yeah, they put those mostly on their YouTube channel, and it's like so bizarre that we see like actual celebrities doing songs for Pokemon now. It's so weird.
Like I don't mind when it's not in the game, when it's just on the YouTube channel, but like it's so fucking off-putting when it's in the game's credits.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. And to see Ed Sheeran in the game's credits.
He seems like a really huge Pokemon fan, so, good for him, I guess.
You know who also is? Ariana Grande. She has a fucking Eevee tattoo.
Really?
Real?
Yes.
Wait, hold up.
She has a fucking Eevee tattoo, either on one of her arms or one of her legs. And it makes me love her even more.
Wow.
Holy
she's
shit.
Already a fucking,
You're right.
She's already a fucking slaying queen. Like, come the fuck on.
I just looked it up. Holy shit, you're right.
Dude.
And it's it's the Eevee design that I plan to get for a tattoo.
You can be matching
Twinsies.
I could twins. I could be twinsies with fucking Ariana Grande.
That's the goal.
Life goal.
That's that.
But honestly, it's crazy that this game has survived a fucking PR disaster in its appearance. Because despite it looking like garbage, it still plays amazingly.
I enjoyed the hell out of this game. I would recommend it if you're not super bothered by, like, I'm not bothered by glitches, and I didn't get that many glitches, but I'm worried that if I recommend it, somebody's going to buy the game and their game's just going to be riddled with them and it's going to crash constantly, and I don't want to do that to people. So I will say, if that stuff doesn't sound like it'll ruin the game for you.
Also, if you don't care for hand holding, like Pokemon's not going to be some fucking Dark Souls level difficulty. They've been super hand-holdy over the last few generations.
Like when you and me played Pokemon together, I did not notice the slowness because I had you there with me and we could talk to each other. When I'm by myself playing this game, the slowness, it killed me.
Yeah, the slow start is pretty bad. And there is practically no reason to actually go to the Pokemon school unless you want to actually talk to the teachers, which actually you get stuff from them sometimes. And also, it kind of implies that they're trying to build a relationship meter. Like that, like every time you talk with the teachers now, that like oh, your relationship got better, or you grew friendlier with this
teacher
person.
will remember that.
But it kind of shows that they're like implementing this weird relationship system, and it kind of makes me worry that they're gonna make dating in Pokemon, because I don't know how to feel about that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's weird.
I also like my Pokemon dating sims.
There's one out there. Fucking look for it.
Oh, there's millions out there. There's like every franchise has one. Pokemon's got to have like 100. Also, you can picnics, selfies. It's so cute. Anyway,
picnics is so fun. I destroyed a sandwich my first attempt. And again, this game is really fun if you want to play with friends, because for the first time in forever, you can explore lands with friends like you would a Minecraft server. That's literally how I described it to Zeh, playing together for the first time. It's literally like a Minecraft server.
That's the reason I bought it, for the multiplayer.
Like, it's so fucking fun when you play together, whether you're just exploring off on your own while still being connected. And if you're in a VC, you could just talk while you're doing that, which don't use the fucking Nintendo app for that, please. It's garbage.
Yeah.
But it's also that fun. The battling system has gotten so much better. I've kicked Zay's ass several times.
Do you have to point that out every time?
Yes, you cannot get better if you don't admit your faults, Zay.
I admit them to myself every day. I don't need you for that.
And trading is super fucking fun. Wonder trading is now called surprise trading for some reason. But it's super fun to mess with because it's super easy to catch Pokemon in this game. So you can literally make someone's day just giving them a Pokemon that they don't have by surprise coincidence. And I love that. I've given so many people Haunters that evolve into Gengars.
Aw, that's sweet.
And I've redistributed fucking starters because I keep getting them in Japanese. But yeah, this game is really fucking fun, despite looking like garbage.
Yes. If you can get past that, I recommend it.
Jesus, that was a long fucking discussion.
Speaking of kids,
Yeah.
Speaking of kids,
I was going to say, we need to keep these discussions shorter. Speaking of short discussions...
oh god,
It's time for the 300-second super hosting discussion, ranting, theory, opinion, hype, guys. This is a lightning round! All right, lightning round. Let's go, go, go. And this time, I have a topic because, JChip, you got mad at me last time for not having a topic. So I took your advice, and I got a topic this time. But I'm thinking since Nintles is our guest, maybe he should go first.
Okay,
Yeah.
so related to Pokemon, Ash Ketchum is retiring, and they're moving on they're making a new series without him.
holy
yes, I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about that as well, but I didn't know if I should make that my topic or not. So thank you for that. Yeah, nearly 30 years. Pokemon, fucking Ash is finally moving on.
Jesus.
They're finally making an anime without Ash. After this one where he actually finishes up his story.
How long has he been, like 12?
He's been 10 for most of it, and then they just made him 11 or 12 just by the next generation. So like, he's whatever the fuck age now. They only really changed his age at some points just for continuity reasons. Like, it's been a year since this event happened. Like,
Oh, well, that just fucks it up more, because now you can be like, unless everything in that story arc took place in one day. No, hold up.
They're just gonna make Ash Ketchum like another Pokemon that's just been immortal this entire time, and now they have to catch Ash Ketchum.
I hope in this
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I hope in this new anime that like
It's
this
shorter.
new anime without without Ash, I hope they make the protagonist actually enjoyable so they don't have to be rejected off the bat. They're like, oh, they're not Ash level. Yeah, well, yeah, they're not going to be Ash level. First off, he was stupid in season 1.
Make him Ryan Reynolds.
He had more attitude in season 1.
Yeah. I want them to go like the Digimon route where they have like different protagonists for each series. I think that would be totally cool if they do that.
The thing
That
is,
would be
they've
cool.
been trying to do this with Chronicles for years. They've done the
Yes.
protagonists, the different
What
protagonists.
if they do like a
wh-
Batman Beyond sort of thing where Ash Ketchum's just an old man now?
Yo.
I want
hold
him
up.
to be Professor
Hold up.
Oak. I want
That
him
would
to.
actually be tight.
I want him to be Red. I want him to be the elite trainer that is Red.
Yeah, that would be really cool if they like have like Ash Ketchum as a final boss in one series. That'd be really cool.
I want him to be
Yo.
Cynthia level boss.
My only question, because I've never watched the anime, but I'm just wondering, what's going to happen to Team Rocket? They're the ones I care about.
They're going to
Dude,
make it double.
I watched this this fan cartoon, this fan animation.
Okay, we don't need to know about
that
those.
someone put out.
No,
Not
no,
that
no,
kind.
It's okay. I know what he's talking about. It's safe. It's safe for work.
It was posted on Twitter. It's
Okay,
safe.
we don't need to know about those.
But it was a fan animation made about Team Rocket actually saying goodbye to Ash, and it was super emotional because
Oh.
Jesse, the one that's always called him twerp for years, was like, "Thank you, Ash." Like it was super emotional, and it just makes me not only am I gonna miss Ash? I'm gonna miss fucking Team Rocket, man.
Oh yeah.
Good luck to whoever follows up Team Rocket. You have a lot to live up to. Until you brought this topic up, anything you want to add before we move on?
Not really that much. I just thought it was related to Pokemon, so I wanted to add it.
That's right.
Sweet.
Just in case.
Thank you for giving me the torch to talk.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So, my topic. It's going to be a review. I have a review to give for my 300 seconds. I'm going to review The Fablemans, the Steven Spielberg's new semi-autobiographical film. So, I'll start off this review by saying I walked into this movie not entirely understanding what exactly it was. So first of all, I missed that semi at the start of the description, semi-autobiographical, because I expected this movie to be about a young Steven Spielberg, and I figured, we're going to see him throughout his life making all these movies. We're definitely going to see him on the set of Jaws, right? No. This movie it's I don't know how much of it is true to Steven Spielberg's actual life, but it stars a character named Sam Fableman and the Fableman family. So I don't know how much of it is true, but the whole movie-making aspect that I went to this movie for, making movies is not what this movie is about. This movie is way more about Sam Fableman's really messed up family life.
Jeez.
It's a really sad movie. So I was kind of I'll admit, it's a great fucking movie. Steven Spielberg, the man is 78 years old, and he's still shining. He's still out there kicking ass at 78. So, it wasn't the movie I was looking for. I should have understood what it was before I went in. If you're like me and you don't enjoy scenes of family members fighting and, kids yelling at their parents, stuff like, I hate you, or I wish you were dead, or I wish you weren't my parents. If you don't like that shit, that's half this movie. So, you're not going to enjoy it.
Why do I just picture Zeh in the theater, in the background going, stop crying and start making movies?
Anyway, I wanted to say that, however, the parts that are about movie making, man, I fucking love that shit. That was so good. And also, I'm talking about the stuff I really loved about this movie, because even though I didn't enjoy, the family drama aspect, because it wasn't bad, that's just not for me. That's not the kind of stuff I personally enjoy. But, there's this side plot with bullies and, high school bullies, and I thought I would hate that part, because, it's just high school bullies. We've only seen that 10 billion times.
Exactly.
So, I thought I wasn't going to enjoy those. However, might have been my favorite part of the movie, that side plot. And it ended in a way that I did not expect, and I absolutely fucking love. And it tied back into the whole movie-making aspect, which is the thing I went to the movie for. So, everything with the bullies, I thought I would hate it. I loved it. Even though it is really sad, it's also, there's some really good jokes in this movie. It's there's this one really hilarious meta joke that I gotta share, where Sam finds out this secret about somebody, and the person tells them, don't you ever tell anyone about this. And Sam's like, okay, I promise I won't tell. And he starts walking away, and he turns around, and he jokingly says, unless I put it into a movie.
Oh my god.
And there's just this long pause afterwards, and it was great.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Pretty good. I will never, unless I put it into a movie.
But there's the acting, fucking amazing acting. The one person I want to highlight most, everyone did amazing. Gabriel LaBelle, who plays Sam, fucking incredible. He was so good. I would say, man, that kid's got a bright future in acting. But for all I know, he's been acting for 10 years. I just want to say, he was really good in the movie. The other person I want to shout out, Seth Rogen, who plays the father's, their quote-unquote uncle, and the father's best friend, Benny. He is so fucking likable. Oh my god. He's just, man, he is so goddamn likable. He's so cool. The way I describe it is you just want to go camping with this guy. which is ironic because they actually do go camping in the film with him, and that's a big plot point. But regardless, I just wanted to shout out Seth Rogen, who did really good in this movie.
I'm really looking forward to him as Donkey Kong in the Mario movie.
But yeah, that was my review. Really sad movie, not what I was looking for, but I can't deny it's still great. Steven Spielberg, the guy's a fucking champ, and he's still got it after almost 50 years of making movies. The man has still fucking got it. All right. Who wants to go next? Cube, JChip?
Well, I already kind of talked into this thing, and so I've kind of...
You should have your own topic, though.
Good idea. Cube.
Fine, I'll go. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about Avatar.
Ooh.
So, December, when it was coming out, my standpoint on that whole movie, like, I honestly wanted it to fail. It's a sequel from a movie that came out 14 years ago. It honestly wasn't even that great a movie in hindsight. Like, visually, it's a stunning movie. It really innovated a lot of technologies and whatever. I'll give it the credit where it's due. It was an entertaining movie. But I don't feel like it really was worth being, like, the highest grossing movie ever. There are so many other ones that have much more passion into the stories and the making. I feel Avatar has always been sort of a cash grab.
I was so happy when fucking Endgame surpassed it.
Yeah, me too.
So I was just gonna say, technically now it feels like Avatar 2 is a nostalgic cash grab.
Yeah.
That's how old it is.
Pretty much.
Okay, question.
Yes.
Before even seeing this movie, besides the one main character, Ed Sully, is there a character that you remember that you even remember by name of the first movie?
Oh, damn, you said by name. Shit. I was going to say, ooh, that rhino monster.
The rhino one. But even too, you even misremembered name. His name is Jake Sully, not Ed Sully.
It's fucking unmemorable. It's
I know,
stupid.
but that was the only name I remembered going into the movie too.
To be fair though, it was around the time when only like actors are known for like the characters' names instead of a character's name in the movies. So it's yeah.
But
So,
the only
like,
reason I know
when,
Jake's
like,
name is because the weird way they're pronouncing it is like it's Jake Sully. Jake Sully.
Jake Sully.
Yeah. But
it was around the time when we used to call Iron Man Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
He is though.
He is Iron Man. But anyway, I want to say is that my mindset is I really wanted this sequel to fail. I honestly thought people were going to bash it for having terrible story. Visuals may not have lived up to expectations or something like that. Then I went to work. I worked throughout the time it was kind of released. And I started hearing reviews saying that it was actually good. And I decided to put my money where my mouth was. I just said, fine, I'll go see the movie and I will be a man and admit if I thought the movie was good.
And
I will admit the movie was pretty good. It wasn't bad. Honestly, I 100% applaud all the people who worked on the visual effects on this movie. There were times where I'm watching this and there are the blue aliens, Navi. They're on screen there and they have a human regular walking around with them, and I actually had to stop myself a couple times and go, holy crap, wait, these are CG characters. Even though it's like, you should easily say, it's like, these are 10-foot tall blue aliens, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, I believe it.
Like the realism.
I was so immersed into that movie at times where it was like, I had to stop and think, wait, this is all fake. Holy crap. Like, if I can get so intrigued into a movie that much, I applaud the visual effects. Like, 100%. That is amazing.
So, the deep question, do you think it's better than the previous?
Well, that was the other thing. I felt it might have been a little too long.
Oh, yeah.
The movie did a great job of making sure you had enough time with all the new characters and everything else, but I'm not gonna lie, it got closer to the end. I'm like, are we still fucking going? Like, holy shit.
keep in mind that this is the cut version of the movie. Cameron wanted to make this movie
a 9-hour version.
9 hours. What the fuck has Snyder done to these fucking nerds to accept this?
Yeah. Honestly, though, like, I will say they leave the story in a manner that's, like, I can accept if they're going to make another one in the next little bit. Like, it sets up another sequel, so whatever. I'm still upset that they somehow managed to greenlit 5 sequels.
They want to make like 9, like in lieu of Star Wars,
I know,
because Cameron sees it as popular as Star Wars.
The one thing that I'm still a little upset about is that Cameron's been boasting on Twitter saying that his script for the 5th Avatar movie, like, he got no feedback from the studios except for just saying holy shit. It's like, no, I don't believe that. That's just him fucking, like, trying to hype up future movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I do say that the way he's been
he's
writing the next few movies, I think is definitely something that Star Wars should have learned from.
Yes.
Is that like, he has I think a couple other directors lined up to do these next movies, or different writers for each movie. But he didn't have each of these writers focus on one movie at a time. They wrote them all out at the same time, so that these writers don't try to favor their own script more. They all find their proper story points. And then once the story's finalized, they go, you're doing that, you're doing that, you're doing that.
Yeah, I think that would definitely help it. Like, my view is that I would be so happy if it ends up becoming like a massive franchise, because honestly, Hollywood needs more franchises that are brand new. And even if like there was like one movie prior to this, still like having a presence of like a brand, like original property like this, like it's still a good thing. So yeah, so also I was gonna mention the technology used in the movie also was kind of like implied with Alita Battle Angel, and in that movie the main character Alita was like fully CGI, and it was so fucking good. Like, she was such a believable character and I loved her.
Yeah, even though when it's like you stop it for a moment and he's like, wait, her proportions are ridiculous, her eyes are huge and everything, but you watch it throughout the movie and she's 100% believable.
As a franchise, I want to see where it goes. I don't want it to come out every few years like fucking Pokémon. We already gave our thoughts about that. But I also don't want every movie to take 14 years.
Yeah.
So
well, apparently the actors have technically already shot the next 5 movies. They're technically wrapped. I
think it would be hilarious that like if like each movie took like 14 years and the actors are already dead by the time the 7th one comes out.
Well, I think one of the actors even said too is like, honestly, I thought this movie already came out and flopped. Because he shot it like 4 or 5 years ago, way before COVID and everything. He's like, honestly thought this movie just kind of came out and flopped.
Well, to be fair though, I think they actually Disney actually bought 20th Century Fox just so they could actually speed up the production of Avatar, it seems like. So like, yeah, good investment.
Well, yeah, I wanted to do well. Honestly.
Yeah, same.
Just make it more memorable.
Right.
So, speaking of good movies, I thought a nice way to, because, you know, it's a new year. It's 2023 now. Time to look back at 2022. And I thought a fun thing to do for this podcast, because I really wanted to do this last year, but I couldn't. I want to do a best of the year kind of thing. I was originally going to be best movies of the year, like just movies, but since last time I checked, a lot of my co-hosts didn't actually watch that many movies this year. It was like, oh yeah, I saw one movie or I didn't see any. So I changed it to best movie or media of the year. So like, it could be a video game, a TV show. If you like music, did you have a favorite album this year? You know, stuff like that. It was also, one other thing I want to say, it was also originally going to be a best and worst of the year. But honestly, I think the only reason I wanted to do that last year is because I really, really wanted to talk about the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run. Because, oh my god, I had some shit to say about that movie. But we're not doing that. We're doing best of the year. And I think I'll go first. I'm doing a favorite movie of the year. I made it my mission in 2022 to see a lot more movies in theaters. So I have a lot of choices to pick from. I could pick Nope for getting better and better the more I think about it. I could pick Marcel the Shell with Shoes On for just being this wholesome, good-feeling can of cuteness. I could pick the Bob's Burgers movie for being Bob's Burgers. But if I were to pick one favorite movie of the year, I gotta pick the one that everybody loves. The one that is already showing up in my film class. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
I gotta pick that. That's my favorite movie of the year. It's still in my brain after all this time. It's just the action scenes are so silly yet so awesome. It gets kind of creepy and disturbing at times. It's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. My favorite fucking gag, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but the funniest thing in this movie to me, everything involving the raccoon. And if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh my god, that raccoon had me cracking up. And behind all the goofiness, because this movie's fucking weird. This movie is maybe the weirdest movie I've ever seen, and it's relentless. The weirdness does not stop. And I can see this movie being too weird for some people. Like, some people might be turned off of just how fucking bonkers this movie is. But me, I associate weirdness with creativity. So in that way, this is one of the most creative movies I've ever seen, and I just respect the hell out of it for going as fucking weird as it did, because I'm a weird guy. I like me some weird, and this movie's fucking weird. And behind all that weirdness, it's just a very heartbreaking but also touching story about life, family, dreams, fucking the universe, life itself, and it's just, man, this movie's beautiful. That's the way I could describe it. It's ugly in how just bonkers it is, but this is a beautiful movie, and it's definitely my favorite movie of 2022. Unless any,
I'll go next here.
Okay, cute.
So to be a little different, I guess I'm gonna have to go with the superhero movie. Oh. And this one honestly was one of my favorites because it just really took a different turn. Of course, you know him. He's a bat-themed character. Of course, talking about Morbius.
No! Oh! This is not how this was supposed to go!
No, I'm just kidding. It's Batman. The Batman. It was great.
No, I wouldn't have blamed you if you said Morbius, honestly, because that was like the biggest meme of the year.
Got to fucking have an aneurysm, goddamn.
Goddamn, kid.
It's Morbius.
Goddamn, how the hell was that not planned? That was beautiful.
But honestly, Batman was such a great movie. Different take on Batman. When it was first announced Robert Pattinson was going to be Batman, I thought it was a poor casting choice. He is honestly my favorite Batman I've seen played on screen. He plays it so well. Such a different moody atmosphere with the Riddler being such a creepy villain. It's so good.
The awkward acting of the Riddler was definitely one of my favorite parts of the film. Just like how extremely awkward and like the energy that was like just like he stole the show in my opinion, honestly.
Yeah. And another thing too I'll have to give Batman that's not related anymore, but the marketing leading up to that movie, the trailers dropping small little hints and like kind of leaving those ciphers from the Riddler gave people things to do to try to critique these movies, like really get the gritty nitty details of each little trailer to predict what's going to happen. Like, that's creative marketing.
You know what else is creative marketing? The Little Caesars pizza that they brought out with it.
What?
Yeah, like they released like a Batman themed pizza to release with that movie.
Oh yeah, I saw that. God damn it.
Yeah, and it's good. I miss it.
Anyone else?
I guess I'll go. Originally, I was gonna do a favorite video game of the year just to be different. I guess I can't because I already talked about Pokemon, and I already talked about Splatoon in the last Brainwatch. So, I guess if I'm gonna say anything, then I'm gonna have to go with season 4 of Stranger Things because it got me into Stranger Things. Like
Yeah.
when season 4 dropped, I just saw so much hype around it, and I was like, oh, okay, because I for years I had not gotten into Stranger Things. I had, like, it's been one of those series that just is on Netflix that I've just bypassed. Let go by. Like, I'll check it out eventually. Then I saw season 4 hype, and everyone said it was so good. I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. And now it's one of my favorite TV shows. It's one of my favorite series after season 4. Season 4 is amazing, dude. And the series itself is amazing. So I guess I can say that. It made me, I became a Stranger Things fan over 2022.
There you go.
Nice.
I personally never saw Stranger Things, but like I am very aware of it, and some clips that I saw of this like recent season, dude, the Kate Bush song. That whole scene was so fucking good.
And also the meme where Chrissy wake up. That's,
don't mention that to me.
When that finally popped up in the season, I was like, oh my god, this is where it came from.
Oh yeah.
But it's such a good season, dude. And I'm looking forward to season 5. Dude, the actress for 11 needs a fucking award for like how very shy and unexpressive she was starting out, obviously, because like she was like, her character was supposed to be like all like new to so many things because she had been like taken away from society. She grew as an actor and became so expressive and like has such a tone in her voice when she speaks so passionately in a scene that it's made me love her work. So that's another thing. But yeah, I became a fan of Stranger Things over 2022, and it's become one of my favorite shows.
All right. Nintles, our special guest. Take us home.
All right, so I was not sure if I wanted to talk about like a TV series like Cyberpunk, considering that you guys already saw that. I also didn't really want to talk about a tokusatsu like Shin Ultraman or Kamen Rider. So the only option I have is right on my desk here, Bayonetta 3. So yeah, like not. This is one of the only games that ever made me cry. And that's because the ending is like, there's a lot of controversy about it, but like it definitely was like one of the most tragic endings I've ever seen in a video game. And like it really got to me. But other than that, like gameplay wise, definitely one of the best in the franchise. I loved all the characters. Fiola, definitely a brand new addition to the game, and definitely is one of the best in the franchise. Like I definitely loved how goofy she was. Like just such a good character. And yeah, like a lot of people were talking about this game, especially with the controversy going on with the actress, the original actress, asking to boycott it, and it actually ended up backfiring, and rightfully so. And overall, I think it did a great thing, actually, like getting people to actually play these games. And as a Platinum fan for even like 13 years since the first game ever released. It's been 13 years, and like this game definitely showcases why I love Platinum, why I love the Bayonetta franchise. And not only that, but like this year we're getting another one. It's an origin story called Bayonetta Origins: Cereza and the Lost Demon, I think.
Yeah, it's a prequel spin-off, and it looks actually really fucking good.
Yeah, it definitely gives me a lot of like vibes similar to like Ori and the Blind Forest. So, and also Akami as well. So it is definitely going to be like something that's going to be very unique. Yeah, and it was actually like it was in a demo. Like a demo version of it was unlockable in Bayonetta free, and I played that on one of my streams. And the gameplay style, like, it could get a little difficult to get used to, especially with the quick time events or like I don't know what it's called, but like the dancing sequences. Like it's very weird, but like I hope I could get used to it when I actually play it. But not really that much to it. I'm just really excited about the future of the Bayonetta franchise and how everything, like, this was definitely one of the first games that actually ended up becoming mainstream in such a big way, and I'm really, really excited for the future of it.
It's not very often Nintendo actually gets a franchise start right.
Oh yeah, totally.
Nowadays, it's really hard for them to actually make a memorable and good franchise. Very few and far between. And they did right by Bayonetta.
Oh yeah, and not to mention Platinum as well. Like, Platinum definitely one of the best developers in gaming right now. Even if they have like a minor like hiccup with like for example Babylon Falls recently came out last year, and that game was like a failure in every regard. Even with that, they were still able to make something so unique and emotional with Bayonetta free, and like I just love this game so much.
All right, nice. So that was, what the fuck? Where did that button?
What?
There's two now. What the fuck?
What?
You guys? What happened? Did you guys see that? Where did?
I pressed a button under the table and it added another button.
How did you press? You're in a table? Look what you're wearing.
I touched it with my toe.
Hold on. All right, I got it.
Can you press more? Can you press it one more time?
JChip.
What if
JChip?
Do it. Do it.
What
Does
this
Oh
like
god,
a
thanks
whole
everybody
lot-
for watching.
Press it.